Muhammad Ali, obviously. Look, yeah, come on. Mike Tyson is a good friend of mine. He's one of my heroes as well. But just Muhammad Ali was just something special.
He doesn't have a good defense. His speed was his defense. He moves and stuff. Say from a boxing perspective, Ali is
his greatest power was his presence.
Yeah.
And I wish everyone would have gotten a chance to meet him just to know what I'm talking about.
This is the battle that defines boxing royalty. Muhammad Ali, the poetic king of the ring with unmatched charisma, versus Mike Tyson, the most terrifying knockout machine the sport has ever witnessed. We are diving into a fantasy fight that has left fans and fighters alike arguing for decades. What would have happened if these two gods of boxing clashed at their absolute peak? In this video, we're not just speculating. We're bringing you real voices from the boxing world, legends who've lived it, felt it, and dared to answer the unanswerable. From George Foreman to Tyson himself, from Wilder to Amir Khan, every opinion will shake your belief about who would have stood tallest if iron had met lightning. If you're passionate about boxing and want to see more head-to-head breakdowns just like this, hit that like button, subscribe to Boxy Hub, and ring the bell so you never miss a brutal debate like this one. Now let's get into it. The legends have spoken. Frank Bruno didn't hesitate. When asked about a dream matchup between Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson, he leaned toward Ali. This is coming from a man who knows Tyson's fury firsthand and has fought in an era where both speed and power reigned supreme. Bruno wasn't blind to the animalistic aggression Tyson carried. He even emphasized that prime Tyson wasn't just dangerous, he was a human wrecking ball. But despite acknowledging Tyson's monstrous intensity, Bruno sided with Ali. That speaks volumes. Bruno saw something in Ali that perhaps numbers, punch stats, and highlight reels can't capture. He understood that Ali's greatness wasn't just in his fists. It was in the way he controlled a ring like a general, commanding a battlefield. Tyson had the rage, but Ali had the rhythm. Tyson had the speed, but Ali had the timing. And according to Bruno, Tyson's danger wasn't enough to overcome the mind of Ali. That pick wasn't just an opinion. It was respect from a fellow gladiator who had seen both legends in their full light. It was a warning that raw aggression, no matter how explosive, doesn't always beat calculated brilliance.
I've got to go for Muhammad Ali, but Tyson at his prime, when he was about 21, he was a very, very dangerous human being. But I would never, ever bet against Muhammad Ali because he was a godfather, opened a lot of doors.
Amir Khan has always been open about his admiration for Mike Tyson. Tyson was his hero, someone he personally connected with on and off the canvas. But when it came time to pick between his hero and Ali, Khan made a surprising choice. He went with Muhammad Ali. This wasn't a betrayal of Tyson. It was a deep recognition of what Ali stood for. Khan felt the magic in Ali, the aura that made opponents freeze even before the first bell rang. There's something about a man who can dance like a feather and punch like a truck, and Khan understood that Ali's confidence wasn't manufactured. It was authentic, and it drowned even the fiercest waters Tyson would bring. When a boxer like Khan, trained in speed, movement, and timing, chooses Ali, it tells you that this isn't just about legacy or nostalgia. It's about seeing the layers of boxing IQ Ali carried with him. Khan's words reflect a truth that even Tyson fans find hard to swallow, that Ali wasn't just special, he was different. He made the impossible look routine, and for Khan, that was enough to tip the scales.
Muhammad Ali, obviously. Look, yeah, come on. Mike Tyson is a good friend of mine. He's one of my heroes as well. But just Muhammad Ali was just something special.
Deontay Wilder came in swinging with no apologies. In his eyes, there's no debate. Mike Tyson would have annihilated Muhammad Ali. Wilder didn't sugarcoat it either. He described Tyson's approach as feral, a beast charging without hesitation, throwing bombs without mercy. For Wilder, who's known for his own brutal knockout power, Tyson embodied destruction in its purest form. He believed Ali's elegance would have been shattered by Tyson's chaos. Wilder's not impressed by footwork or poetry. He's a student of damage, and in Tyson, he sees the ultimate weapon. To him, Ali's charm, his speed, and his movement wouldn't have meant much when faced with Tyson's relentless pressure. Wilder's view is emotional, forceful, and unfiltered, just like Tyson's fights. He's not disrespecting Ali, but he's calling it like he sees it, a head-on collision where Tyson's rage overwhelms even the greatest. For Wilder, Tyson doesn't just win. He wins quickly, violently, and decisively. That's not an opinion taken lightly. That's a heavyweights war cry, painting Tyson as a mythic force of nature that even a legend like Ali.
Mike always gave the respect to Ali and stuff like that, but you know, that'll be, I may have Ali knocking, I may have Mike knocking Ali out.
Couldn't weather. It's one thing for legends to weigh in, it's another when Mike Tyson himself breaks it down. Tyson has always been vocal about his admiration for Ali, calling him a god among boxers. But even when praising Ali, Tyson can't help but dissect him like a technician. He admits that Ali's speed was phenomenal, lightning in human form. Tyson credits that as Ali's main edge, but he also exposes what he sees as weaknesses. Tyson points out that Ali didn't throw body shots, rarely relied on combinations, and often got away with relying solely purely on footwork, coming from Tyson, a student of boxing history and an encyclopedic brain when it comes to fight analysis. This isn't said to discredit Ali. It's said to put the matchup into perspective. Tyson doesn't just talk about fists. He talks about style clashes, tactical flaws, and practical gaps. Ali may have had speed, but to Tyson, that wasn't enough to cancel out the fury he himself would bring. Tyson's view carries both respect and realism. He acknowledges the greatness, but questions the tools Ali would have used to stop the storm. It's personal, it's conflicted, and it's brutally honest. No myth-making, just pure fight logic.
There's no man like him. There just isn't. Everything that we have, he's even in our arrogance and our ego. He's fast, but he really doesn't have any great qualities besides his agility. Not afraid to let punches fly. But other than that, he never threw a body punch in his life.
Mike Tyson continues to break down Muhammad Ali in a way only he can. This time, he shifts his focus from Ali's offense to his defense, or in Tyson's view, the lack thereof. Tyson makes it clear that Ali's only real line of protection was his speed and agility. According to him, Ali didn't have a structured, technical defense the way other greats did. No high guard, no shell, no real counter mechanisms beyond his legs and head movement. That might be enough against slower opponents. But against someone like Tyson, who exploded into range faster than most fighters could blink, Tyson believes that kind of evasive technique wouldn't hold up. Yet Tyson doesn't tear Ali down with disdain. He lifts him up even while highlighting his flaws. He calls Ali an animal, a man no one could stand against in his time. There's an unmistakable reverence in his voice, but Tyson still believes that respect doesn't negate reality. And in his reality, being tough and fast would not have saved Ali from the carnage that Tyson would bring. It's like hearing a warrior speak about another warrior, not to diminish him, but to warn that in a different battlefield, even giants fall.
He doesn't have a good defense. His speed was his defense. He moves and stuff. Say from a boxing perspective, Ali is a...
Just when you think Tyson is done analyzing, he delivers a line that freezes time. He says Ali looked more like a model than a fighter, yet when he got in the ring, he was a dinosaur, a T-Rex disguised in charm. That description alone sends chills down any boxing fan's spine. Tyson paints Ali not just as a boxer, but as a predator in disguise, the kind of fighter who lured you in with a smile, then drowned you in a pool of pain. This is a Tyson who knows what it means to hurt and be hurt, and yet, even while believing he could have beaten Ali, he still talks about him like he was otherworldly. Tyson's words are poetic chaos. On one hand, he criticizes Ali's lack of bodywork and defense. On the other, he admits that Ali would drag you into deep waters, suffocate your rhythm, and mentally disarm you before a single punch landed. When Tyson says that, you realize something deeper. He doesn't just see Ali as a boxer. He sees him as a psychological weapon, one who might not outmuscle you, but would outthink and outlast you. That's not a compliment. That's a warning from a killer who knows another killer when he sees one.
He looks more like a model than a fighter, but what he is, he's like a Tyrannosaurus Rex with a pretty face. He's just mean and evil, and he'll take you in deep waters and drown you.
When George Foreman talks about Muhammad Ali, it's not just recollection, it's therapy. He vividly recalls stepping into the ring thinking it would be a short night. He expected to bulldoze Ali, to destroy him in a round or two. But then came the moment that shattered his confidence. When Ali looked him dead in the eye mid-fight and asked, "Is that all you got, George?" That sentence didn't just hit Foreman's ears, it hit his soul. Suddenly, the Predator realized he wasn't the one in control. Foreman was one of the most feared punchers in boxing history, yet Ali turned the psychological tables with a single sentence. That wasn't showmanship. That was mental warfare, and it worked. Foreman fell apart not because Ali overpowered him, but because Ali made him question everything he thought he knew. That story alone says more about this mythical matchup than any tale of brute force. Ali had the ability to crawl into your mind and rearrange the furniture while dodging haymakers. Foreman's experience proves that Ali's victories were often won before the first bell even rang. And when someone as devastating as Foreman admits that Ali played him like a chess piece, it makes you wonder whether Tyson's aggression would have faced the same fate.
It was really strange. I thought I'd knock him out in 1 or 2 rounds, but about the 3rd round, I'd hit him, and he fell on me. I thought, that's it. And he started screaming, "That all you got, George? Show me something."
In the twilight of his career and life, George Foreman's words carry the gravity of a man who has seen everything and feared no one. And yet, when he reflects on Muhammad Ali, he doesn't talk about jabs, footwork, or even that legendary rumble in the jungle. He talks about Ali's presence. Foreman says Ali's greatest power wasn't in his fists, it was in who he was as a person. That's a staggering statement from a man who once held the heavyweight crown and wrecked opponents with biblical force. But it speaks volumes. Ali's influence transcended the squared circle. He could disarm with words, captivate with a glance, and change the temperature of a room just by entering it. Foreman wished everyone could have met Ali, not just the fighter, but the man. That's not something you say about a regular athlete. That's something you say about a once-in-a-lifetime soul. And when Foreman, a walking monument of boxing history, tells you that Ali's aura was his greatest weapon, it adds a layer to this debate that Tyson fans must wrestle with. Power fades, speed diminishes, but presence, that's eternal. And that might just be the factor that no training camp can prepare you for.
His greatest power was his presence.
Yeah.
And I wish everyone would have gotten a chance to meet him just to know what I'm talking about.
So who would have won between Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali? That question has echoed through barbershops, gyms, and internet forums for decades. And after hearing the voices of those who've been in the trenches, those who've stood in front of both fury and finesse, one thing becomes painfully clear: we will never truly know. Tyson brought the type of violence that made men fold before the first punch. Ali brought the kind of genius that made monsters question their path. This is more than a fantasy matchup. This is a clash of philosophies, of raw power against refined brilliance, of chaos against calm. And maybe, just maybe, the reason this debate burned so hot is because deep down, we know it was never meant to be settled. If you loved this deep dive breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Boxing Hub, and drop your opinion in the comments. Who do you think would have walked out of that ring with their hand raised? Because at the end of the day, legends never die. They just leave us wondering what could have been.